Wanted to put a session together for you today to just talk to you about looking after your well-being. Obviously, we're in at the middle of or the start of a pandemic, which is global, which is extremely distressing for all of us, very worrying times, and particularly for our patients on the referral scheme, as a lot of you are having to self-isolate and will be needing to self-isolate for quite a few weeks to come. So we've put something together for you to just give you some help and some assistance to help you, like I say, look after your well-being whilst we're going through this period, to help you cope with worry, cope with anxiety that you're probably experiencing, difficulties whilst you're self-isolating. But if you're even not self-isolating, you're just practicing social distancing, some hints and tips, maybe some help to make it a little bit easier for you as we go through these challenging times. So the first point that we're going to talk about is how important it is to eat well and to stay hydrated. It's vital that whilst you're going through a period of stress and anxiety, that your food and your nutrition and your hydration is really focused on. Try and get those 5 a day of your fruit and vegetables. The key principles of eating well, use as much fresh, frozen, whole food sources, so fruit, vegetables, meat, other sources of proteins such as pulses and beans, but lots of variety, a good balance of your diet. It's really important because it ensures that we're getting all the nutrients that our body needs, the vitamins, the minerals, the micro and macronutrients that we need. And we need those to keep our immune system healthy. The more that you can do to boost your immune system by eating well is the best thing that you can do, and you can control it. So there are a couple of sessions already available on our YouTube channel, which I'll talk about later, about eating well. I do have some of these, which are Public Health Wales guides, and I can send these out to you if you'd like a copy. And it just talks about how you can best stay, keep your nutrition on point, and what sorts of things to look for and how to help you plan. In addition to food, hydration. So on average, you would want to consume about 2 litres of fluid a day. Now, whilst that can be made up to include tea and coffee, we really want to do our best to reduce the amount of caffeine that we're taking, and also reduce the amount of sugary drinks that we're also having. So you really want to look at maybe 2 or 3 cups of tea or coffee a day as a maximum, and then trying to make the rest up from water or from low sugar or no sugar drinks. And that includes squash and your sugar-free sodas as well, if that's something that you like to drink. So eating well and staying hydrated, give our body what it needs to stay healthy. So the next point, very, very important, medication. Whatever medication you are currently taking, unless you are told by your GP or a medical professional, you must continue to take it. So even if you've read something on Facebook or some other social medias, or you've read something online, if you've not been told to stop taking it, then you must continue to take your regular medication. Okay? If you've got any doubts or concerns, speak to your GP. If you are having trouble getting through to the GP, speak to ring 101 and ask the NHS helpline for some assistance. Following on from medication, treatment. So two parts to this. If you're currently having treatment for your well-being, so some therapy or some counselling services, you may be concerned about going out for those. In fact, they may have been cancelled. If you feel that you still need to have this treatment, inquire if there's an online telephone service, perhaps. Lots of counselling, lots of therapy can be done remotely. We can use technology, so use FaceTime, use Skype. There's a program called Zoom, so we can do face-to-face meetings without having to be face-to-face. So just like I'm talking to you today, we can do something like this where we can talk to each other over the internet, but we can also use the telephone to do that as well. So if you need to access treatment and you can't physically get there, find out what other ways there are available for you to do that. The second part is existing outpatients appointments. It's quite likely that you've all experienced cancellations in non-essential and non-emergency outpatients appointments as we're trying to clear the hospitals and the GP surgeries to deal with the emergencies only. If you have had your appointment cancelled, you would have been told. If you're unsure about whether your appointment is going ahead because you've not had a letter or a telephone call to cancel, make the phone call before you leave to check. Most appointments are cancelled, but there are some clinics, especially for some of the vulnerable patients in particular medical categories, some treatments are still going ahead, especially cancer treatments and treatments for dialysis. They need to continue. So not everything is cancelled, but phone ahead before you leave the house to check whether your treatment is still going on. Your environment. So I'm not talking about the world, environmental factors here. We're talking about your environment at home. There's a couple of things for this. One is your house. So keeping your house clean, keeping it nice and tidy, that will bring about positive benefits to your well-being. So making sure that we keep on top of housework as best we can, keeping on top of the cleaning, keeping on top of the washing and the laundry. If you have a garden and you can hang your laundry out, we've had some lovely dry weather recently, which is pleasant for us, although it's frustrating because we can't fully enjoy it. But if you've got a garden and you can hang your washing out, take it out and hang it out. Let it air dry. It's really good to feel, you know, when you're putting your laundry back on then and it's been air dried, it captures that fresh air in the clothes. So keep on top of that laundry, keep on top of the housework. Don't let things pile up around you, and try and have some order to the environment that you're in. Open the windows in your house to get the air circulating, get some fresh air coming through and the stale air out. It's really, really important, and it can really help you feel good and can help clear any of that stale air, the musty air, and some of the sort of, you know, the dampness in our homes after all the flooding and the rain that we've had. Clear it all out and get some fresh air coming through. The second part of this is about personal hygiene. Whilst lots of us aren't leaving the house, or very rarely leaving the house, it's really easy to slip into a habit of getting up late, not getting dressed, perhaps not washing our hair as often as we were beforehand, because we think, well, we're not going to see anybody, so it doesn't matter. But there will come a time when you will be going back out and you will be interacting with people. So we want to keep those good habits for personal hygiene. So getting up, getting washed, showering, you know, fresh clothes on every day or every couple of days. You know, making sure that we're taking care of ourselves, because that's really important, and it can again really help you feel good rather than being a bit grubby, you know, because you haven't washed your hair, you know, you've not showered for a couple of days, you're still wearing the same joggers that you've had on all week. So take care of yourself, value yourself, you're worth investing in. So take care of your environment. Staying connected, really, really important in the current times. Lots of us are self-isolating, so if we're, other than the people that we're living with, we have very little contact with humans on the outside. If you are self-isolating, you really are having very little contact, and if you are practicing social distancing, then your contact will be very limited, and certainly there's no human connection at the moment other than the people that you're living with. So it's vital that we keep those communication lines open, so that we speak to families and friends on the phone, that we email, that we Skype and use FaceTime and use technology as best that we can, that we can stay connected to the people that are important to us in our lives. So our family and our friends, keep in touch with people. It's always great to hear a friendly voice. Within the referral scheme, I know that Gaynor and Linda and Gareth are making regular phone calls to our members. If you feel that you'd like to hear from us on a more frequent basis, then let us know and we'll make sure that we schedule a call with you to check in, say hello, find out, what's been happening, how you're feeling, etc. And just stay connected. Having that friendly voice, someone to talk to, is great. Additionally, we have our YouTube channel. The Caerphilly Exercise Referral Scheme does have a YouTube channel. We have lots of videos on there for doing exercise at home, for doing the food wise, which is all based around this that I showed you earlier. There's some sessions on there about food. There's some sessions on there to just help you stay connected to what we're doing at Exercise Referral. In addition, there's lots of national schemes available as well. So both Age Cymru and Age UK are both offering call services. So if you are isolated, if you're living on your own, if you want to have that regular chat with somebody, Age UK and, like I say, Age Cymru are both offering a service where they will call and they will connect with you, chat, half an hour on the phone, talking about whatever you want to talk about. If it's because you're worried and you're scared about what's currently going on and what's in the news, or if you just want to chat about, anything silly, or if you've got a hobby that you want to talk about. Sometimes it's good to just talk about something that really isn't very important, but makes you feel good. So stay connected. Routine. I love a routine. Routine is really important. At the moment, everybody is out of routine because we're all, living differently. Lots of us aren't going into work like we used to. We're working from home. You're not able to attend the exercise sessions that you normally would and meet with the people that you've met, your friends that are within those sessions. But having a routine keeps the purpose and keeps those daily things going. So getting up at the usual time that you used to get up, having breakfast, getting washed and dressed, making your bed for the day, and then going about doing the household chores that you would do. Now, yes, ordinarily you wouldn't have as much rest as what you're going to currently have because we're going to be home. So adapting your routine and adding new things into it. So checking the news in the morning and then moving on, maybe doing a jigsaw, bringing things in and keeping to that. So having lunch at your normal lunch time, having an afternoon snack at the same time pretty much every day, and having your evening meal at the same time in the evenings. So going to bed at the same time. So trying to keep that routine going, that normal behaviour that you were practicing before, can really help to keep some order in our lives and a sense of purpose and structure in the day. So it's really, really important for existing at the moment. fresh air, so important. Like I said before about your environment, get the windows open in the house, front and back, so the air can circulate through. If you feel the cold, put a jumper on. And I feel the cold, but I still have the windows open, and I just put an extra jumper on if I start to feel a bit of a nip when I'm in the house. But it's really good to get the air circulating and get the stale air out of the house and fresh air in, get some rid of that dampness that's been building up in the house. Additionally, if you're not self-isolating and you're able to go outdoors, really make the most of that one trip a day for you to go out, even if it's just 10 minutes to walk down to the end of the road and back. So you're getting some fresh air into your lungs. Most people are really, really good at practicing social distancing. So they're crossing the road to avoid you or pulling into somebody's driveway so that you can get past. And you can do the same. So if there's not many people out and about, but if you go out for a walk and somebody's on the same side of the road as you and you don't feel confident to cross the road, then you can just pull into a driveway, step back a metre and allow the person to come past if they don't wait for you. But going out for a walk to just get some fresh air into our lungs, to feel the air on your face, to just feel it around you will really help you to feel good. It helps you to sleep better, and to feel that you sort of left the four walls of your house. Okay, what better time to start something new? There are thousands and thousands of free activities that you can get involved with. There's the Open University have absolutely unbelievable amounts of free courses. Some of them are only a couple of hours long, some of them are sort of 4-6 hours, and some of them are a couple of days. You can do them online, they're free to access, you don't have to pay for them. It's not about getting a qualification, it's just about maybe learning something new. There's even ones on there for learning languages, learning Welsh, learning Spanish, learning French, just picking something up. So learning something new, starting new activities. We can all look out our windows and try to spot some birds. The RSPB have a bird spotters guide, and in fact they really welcome people reporting what birds and wildlife they've seen, because it helps them to get an idea about what's currently, what the numbers are like in the UK. So looking outside, spotting the trees that you've got so that you can see what wildlife you can see. Taking up some other new exercise perhaps. On the YouTube channel, Linda has recorded some yoga and some Pilates classes. So if you're in Caerphilly or in Utica, you won't have done those on our programme because we only offer them in Risca, but you're able to actually participate in those. If you want to find out if that's something that's suitable for yourself, speak to one of the team and we can actually confirm whether it's a good activity for you to do. But doing something new, challenging yourself, there's lots and lots of people doing amazing things online using social media. So there's a gentleman who's teaching people how to play the piano. There's a famous cook who every day he cooks a new recipe and he gives you advance notice as to what they are, what menus he's doing, so you can make sure you've got the ingredients. There's lots of baking websites doing lots of home baking stuff, so I've been following a lot of those. But reading a book, there's lots of books available now and lots of documentaries available for you to watch. I've seen lots of tours available. So over in America, the parks that are currently closed, they all have park patrol, and one of the guides gives you a remote, obviously from the comfort of your home, a tour of the Grand Canyon, a tour of Yosemite Park. There's lots of different ones on there, so places that perhaps we'll never get to see face to face, but we can actually look at them online. NASA has released all its catalogue of images from obviously taken space. They used to charge for this, but now you can access it for free. And so if there's lots of things available for you, and if you're interested in any of those that I've mentioned, if you search for them on the internet, you should be able to find them. If not, you can just pop an email through to me or send a text to one of the contacts and I'll get some information over to you. But we've never had so much time to do something new. So let's see if we can do something positive with this time. Staying active. So back to our YouTube channel. There's lots and lots of videos on there. We've got chair-based exercise, we've got circuit training, there's some strength-based exercise for my clients that use the gym. We've got yoga, we've got Pilates. We're going to get some meditation stuff put on there as well, some breathing exercises for you to do. There's lots and lots of content available now. I think there's about 20 videos on there, and we're going to get some more videos over the weeks and the months that we're away from you. There'll be more content available for you. But stay active. Try to move every day, and try to do 2 to 3 classes a week. You've got plenty of time now, so there's options of 20, 30-minute classes. There's some there that are the hour that you're used to when you do them face-to-face. If you are able to leave the house, try and get that walk in every day. And even if it's just walking to the end of the road and back, it's going to help you with your steps. Other things that you can do in the evening when you're watching television, every time the adverts come on, get up and just walk around or do some sit to stands, because every 15 minutes we have an advert on the television. So if you're sitting for the evening from 6 through till 10, then you can get 30 minutes of activity just by staying active during the adverts, and that you've hit your daily total. So stay active, keep the body moving. It'll stop you from seizing up, feeling stiff. It'll keep the blood flowing through the body, which is great for the heart and great for the muscles, and it'll help you with sleep. Okay, my last one for you. Limit your exposure to news. And not wanting to sound like the American president, particularly limit your exposure to fake news. We are living at the moment in really scary times. They are unprecedented. Nobody of our generation has lived through this or anything like this. And because of that, there's lots of fake news and misinformation available. So what I do is I listen to the news in the morning, and then I listen to it in the evening when the update comes on after the Prime Minister's spoken. I try not to listen to or tune into the news at any other point, because it can be overload. We're just having lots of quite scary messages repeated over and over and over throughout the day, and it's nothing that we can control. So it can increase your anxiety and increase your worry and increase your stress. So limiting how many times we watch the news can help us to deal with that. In addition to that, on social media, there's lots of things that are shared which are just not true. Lots of reports about, I've seen ones that if you eat spicy food, it can kill the virus in your throat. That's not proven. That is not a medical fact. If it was as easy as eating spicy food, then we would all be eating spicy food. So there's lots of rumours about what you can do, what's going to put you at risk, what's going to harm you. Unless it comes from a legitimate news source, then you really need to avoid it. So legitimate news sources, your news channels such as BBC News, ITV News, Sky News. They are going to report fact and only fact. Other sources of correct information are the government's website, the national government's website, and local government websites. So for us, the Welsh Assembly. Additionally, Public Health Wales, Public Health England, and the NHS websites. They all carry 100% correct information. No rumours, no made-up facts, only legitimate information for you. Finally, Caerphilly Council's website. We've got a lot of information there that we've gathered from those legitimate sources. So these are all websites and social media pages for local government and the councils and the public health organisations. Those are legitimate sources of information. So limit your exposure, but also make sure that when you are listening to the news, that it is from a valid and reliable and credible source. You don't want to listen to the cousin of a friend from Facebook, okay, unless he's the Prime Minister. So really think about protecting yourself by not listening to too much and protecting yourself from misinformation. It's very, very important to keep yourself calm and to keep those anxiety levels in check. Okay, so those are our 10 points. Our 10 points for things that you can do yourself to help look after your well-being. Now, don't forget, it is very worrying time at the moment, and it's okay to feel stressed, it's okay to feel anxious, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed. All of those things are natural responses to the stress and trauma that we're currently experiencing. What you need to do is to control the things that you can control, which is all of this. These are all things that are within your control that you can do to help yourself and to help look after yourself whilst we go through these times. If you need any additional information or any additional support, please get in touch with one of the team. So there's myself, Gaina, Steffi, Gareth, Linda or Craig. Get in touch with one of the team and we'll see whatever we can do to help you. If we can do it, we will. And we can signpost you to extra help if that's what you need. Okay, I hope that's been useful for you. Hopefully you've learned something. Hopefully we have eased some of your worry and given you some information and some positive ideas that you can do to help improve your current wellbeing status. Get in touch if you need us. Otherwise, we can't wait to get back in touch and see you face to face in our classes. So take care, keep yourself safe, keep washing your hands, and look after yourself.